Hey there. Today, we're going to talk about a technology that could totally change the game and maybe even make your passport obsolete. Just think about it for a second. What if you never had to dig around for your passport or driver's license ever again? What if your face, your fingerprint, was all you needed to prove who you are? Instantly, securely, anywhere in the world.
Now, I know that sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But it's actually being developed as a solution to a huge, very real problem we all face. Our current identity system, well, it's just broken.
Think about it. We live in this incredibly connected digital world, but our identities are still stuck in the past, tied to little paper books and plastic cards issued by different countries. And that creates all sorts of headaches, right? It slows everything down, from crossing a border to opening a bank account or even just using a service online.
And the human cost of this outdated system? It's absolutely staggering. The World Bank tells us that nearly 1 billion people, that's billion with a B, don't have any kind of government-recognized ID. This means they're basically locked out of the system. No banking, no education, no healthcare. It's like they're invisible.
And hey, even if you do have an ID, the system is just not that secure. Just in 2023, Interpol found more than 232,000 lost or stolen travel documents out there. That's a massive security risk, fueling all kinds of illegal activity.
So, if you boil it all down, we're dealing with 3 huge problems. The system is fragmented, which makes everything slow. It's vulnerable, so it's a playground for fraud and theft. And it's exclusive, leaving literally millions and millions of people behind.
Okay, so with all those problems on the table, what's the solution? Well, a lot of very smart people are working on something pretty radical. It's called the Universal Digital Identity, or UDI for short.
So what exactly is a UDI? Well, imagine having one single, super secure digital ID that works everywhere. It's not tied to any one country. Instead, it's part of a global network that lets you, move through the world basically friction-free. And here's the magic of it, the core promise. You get verified once, just one time. And after that, your identity can be confirmed by anyone who needs to check it. A bank, an airline, you name it, anywhere in the world.
This is a really big deal. It's a total shift in how we think about identity. The idea is that who you are shouldn't be a privilege that a government gives you. It should be a global public good, something everyone has access to.
Okay, but how does this whole thing actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look.
It's actually pretty straightforward, broken down into 3 steps. First, you do a one-time biometric enrollment, a face scan, fingerprints. That captures what makes you unique. Step 2, that data gets encrypted and locked onto a blockchain, which is just a super secure, unchangeable digital record book. And finally, step 3, you're good to go. You can instantly prove who you are anywhere.
So let's look at this diagram to see how the pieces fit together. You have an issuer, maybe a government, that creates your digital ID. They anchor it to the blockchain. Then, when you need to prove who you are, a verifier, like a bank or an airport, can check that record on the blockchain. And the key thing here is they can only do it with your permission.
So when it's time to actually use it, how do you do it? Well, there are 2 main ways. You could present a unique ID number, kind of like a PIN, or, and this is the really cool part, you can just use your physical presence. Literally, just smile at a camera. Your body becomes the password. No more forgetting things.
Okay, this is all cool in theory, but what would this feel like in the real world? Let's paint a picture with a few examples.
All right, first up, the airport. Picture yourself walking up to the border control gate. But there's no fumbling for a passport, no waiting in line. You just glance at a camera, it instantly knows who you are, and swoosh, the gate swings open. In the background, the system checked your ID on the blockchain in less than a second.
Or how about this? You've just moved to a new country. You know the drill, right? Weeks of paperwork just to open a simple bank account. Well, in this future, you walk into the bank, put your thumb on a scanner, and your account is open. Just like that, in minutes, because your identity is already trusted no matter where you are.
And this is where it gets really powerful. Think about a refugee who's been forced to flee their home, losing everything, including their documents. With a UDI, they can still prove who they are. They arrive at a relief camp, a quick biometric scan confirms their identity, and they get immediate access to food, shelter, and the help they need to start rebuilding their life. It's literally a lifeline. Now look, this is a massive, world-changing idea. And whenever you have an idea this big, it comes with some equally big questions and, some pretty serious risks. So we have to talk about the other side of the coin.
So the model being proposed for this UDI is kind of a hybrid. It's trying to find a middle ground.
On one hand, you have purely government-controlled systems, which not great for privacy. On the other, you have purely user-controlled systems, but those can be chaotic and not everyone might adopt them. The UDI model aims for the best of both worlds, shared governance and balanced privacy, all designed to work globally.
So you can really see the two sides of this. The promise? It's incredible. A world that's more inclusive, more secure, and way more portable. But the peril is just as real. The potential for mass surveillance, for new forms of exclusion, and for bias to be baked right into the algorithms.
And this means there are some massive hurdles we'd have to clear before this becomes a reality. I mean, who's in charge of this thing? How do you protect people's data when laws like GDPR are different everywhere? What happens to people who don't have internet access? And crucially, how can we be absolutely sure the tech is fair for every single person?
But here's the thing. Even with all these challenges, the sources we've looked at suggest this shift is, well, probably inevitable. The way our world is globalizing, the way our lives are becoming more and more digital, it's all pushing us toward some kind of universal identity.
And that really brings us to the final, big question for all of us. The technology is coming, and the need is already here. Our very idea of identity is changing right before our eyes. It's becoming digital. It's becoming borderless. So maybe the real question isn't if this is going to happen, but how we're going to handle it when it does. Are we ready for that?